Very good morning. You're joining us here on Sunday Live, this Remembrance Sunday, November the 8th. And we'll return to the cenotaph in a few minutes. But let's tell you now about Afghanistan, A Tour of Duty, which is a new book of photographs put together by former Grenadier Guardsman Captain Allan, who joins us now in the studio. His book capturing the camaraderie, the heat, the monotony even, the danger faced by the British troops serving there. And also in the studio joining us, Lance Sergeant Adam Ball, one of the undoubted stars, we have to say, of that book, known as Ghoulie in that book, we have to say. You don't mind us joining us with that nickname today in the studio? Well, welcome to you both. Thank you very much indeed for coming in, because it is an extraordinary book. Did you actually set out before you went on the tour to capture a diary? Did you sort of get a fancy camera to do all that?
No, not really. I took a camera, as so many soldiers do, to just capture your time. It's like taking a diary, and I did buy a new camera before I went out,
but nothing too grand.
I got a digital SLR as well as a small camera.
Because the photos are quite extraordinary in that I suppose we're not really getting that much first-hand reporting in terms of television footage or photographs from the front line. But when you just see the day in, day out life on the front line, that, for instance, that could be from Vietnam in the 1960s. It's
a great shot, and it also shows how the differences in colour and in that picture, emotion that we all experienced in our time in Afghanistan.
Because that particular one there for Adam, we saw a ceremony that was actually a cremation of the remains of your leg that they found at the roadside.
Just my foot. It was still in my boot. Alex will be able to tell you more. I think they found it on a patrol. Was it 2 days after?
Yeah, 2 days after we.
And you'd been medevaced by that time.
Yeah.
And I guess you thought, is this booby trapped? What are we going to do with this?
We were, as I think many people are, we were hugely concerned that that a part of one of our comrades was left and perhaps had fallen into the hands of the wrong people. And when we found it on the side of the road, very respectfully wrapped in cotton sheets, we were pleased. Also suspicious that it might be booby trapped. But then we took it home, and it was a worry of what we could do with that foot. And I decided it was best that we made a sort of ceremony of it to it was our farewell to Ghoulie. Although we knew he was well and in good hands, but we wanted to say.
And is it goodbye. Such moments and taking the time to do such things is what keeps you sane?
I think it has to be done at the right time and the right place. And although the job continues and the situation doesn't change, there's still a job to be done, and the threat is still there. But you have to take time out when you can and make a conscious effort to let yourself consciously say goodbye or think what has happened.
And that's what strikes you when you see that the faces, the characters in this book. You then have little footnotes. Well, so-and-so was injured badly, so-and-so didn't make it. I mean, that really brings it home to you that these happy, smiling faces, your mates, that suddenly they're not there.
Yeah. They could be, I mean, a lot of the pictures, they look like the guy next door. They look like any young soldier.
Yeah.
Or a young chap that you know.
And that was you, what, just a day before?
That was... Yeah, a day or 2 days before it happened.
And then, of course, we've got you then back. Was it Selly you went to get the rehabilitation? Or?
I firstly went to Selly and then I moved on to Headley Court.
Oh, down in Surrey.
Yeah. And that's in Headley Court with my first prosthetic leg.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually a very important document in a way of what's happened, not just to you but others out in Afghanistan. But also, what struck me was of Afghanistan itself, of the pictures of the people and the extraordinary landscape as well.
Well, it is a reportage of an experience that is happening to so many young men in Afghanistan. I mean, I took these pictures in 2007, and it's been happening, and there are thousands of young men that have been doing the same thing and going through the same horrors and the same experiences, whether they be positive or negative, for so long, and experiencing the great beauty that is Afghanistan. And I think a lot of that book perhaps was almost like a travel journal to people who would love to go there. It's an incredibly beautiful and exciting place.
Alistair, you were mentioning that you advise members of the military and the forces about sort of dealing with the media. I mean, looking at this, they don't really need much advice, do they?
It's wonderful to see this. I mean, it's just fantastic expression. I was just interested, Sergeant, with a book like this coming out, Was that helpful to you, and has it been useful to know that this is now being understood better by people?
Yeah, I think it does help, because a lot of people out there don't actually know what we go through. I mean, I never knew about my foot being handed in when Alex
found
it.
To hear that had happened?
Yeah, really weird. But when they told me that they'd done it just to, like, that incident was put behind them and they could get on with the rest of the tour, it was really, I could understand it, I think, but it was very odd seeing my own foot in that photo, just in the burns pit.
But there is a sort of odd humour, isn't there, amongst us soldiers about what is really horrific in its own way and very difficult for people to understand.
Yeah, I mean, the comments where I said to Alex, why didn't you keep it? I would have kept it myself, but try and stuff it and put it on my wall. But that's the kind of humour I think.
And the book is actually raising money now for a specific charity to help those in the regiment who've suffered problems.
It is, yeah. I decided to put the book together, and I wanted to do it for a charity. So I asked Guli. I thought, well, he was the best person to ask who's been helped by these charities, and without any hesitation, he said he wanted the money to go to BLESMA, the British Limbless Ex-Servicemen's Association, which I think you've been talking about earlier on through the parade.
Well, thank you very much indeed for coming in to talk about it. That is the extraordinary book, Afghanistan, A Tour of Duty, as we reflect on that today, this Remembrance Sunday. And of course, that act of remembrance continuing as we speak at the Cenotaph. Will continue to remember them, of course, on this Remembrance Sunday, November the 8th, 2009.